Ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.
Peace. What up, Boston? Yeah, I didn't put the link up. I'll put it in the chat. Come on if you want to. I'm waiting on this fake African American Egyptian. He wanted to go live, so let's get it popping. So he has to come on and show me, because the statement that he made was African Americans come from all parts of Africa. So you got to show me that. What up? Man, you know, dude ain't gonna come, man. That's why I ain't even put the link in there.
What happened?
Dude ain't gonna pull up.
What are you talking about?
Fake African American Egyptian.
The dude with the from JJ?
Nah, there's somebody else. There's somebody in one of these groups. He told me African Americans come from all parts of Africa. So that's how he could be African. All parts.
Where they come from? All parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Who told him that?
I don't know. Shit, I guess we'll have to find out. Waiting on them to pull up. Let me see.
I ain't read a book in 2-3 days, man. I've been relaxing my brain before I go into these 2,000 pages.
Yeah, I started reading something. I'm gonna just start reading.
So I think what I'm about to do, man. I need to get my notepad. I know you waiting on the African American Egyptian dude, but I'm gonna start with the 500 page book first. I'm gonna go ahead and knock the 500 on out the way.
Which one? Which one of them?
I don't even know how to pronounce this thing, man.
Oh, the
Macadema.
Yeah, the macadamia.
Is that how you say it?
Shit, I guess so. So I be hearing
Macadema. Let's see how they say it. Let's see if we can pronounce it. I need to log on my work computer. Yeah, man, I'm over here, man, watching Trump, man. He ain't been able to sleep in 2 days, dog.
He's fit. It's over. It's about to be over for him. Well, Biden is 6 more.
Man, Biden in Georgia sneaking up on dude, man.
He really is, bro. That's
crazy. You ready for the pronunciation? Here you go right here. Is he gonna say something? That mug ain't said nothing, dog. Hold up, let me try somebody else. Bro, they trying to make you. I ain't trying to do that. Macadama. Let me go back to English. Macadema. Mukadima. There you go, right there. Mukadima. Nah, that was wet. Mukadima. That's how I ride with that. The Mukadima. Let's see what this one say.
Mukaddima.
There you go.
Mukaddima. Mukaddima.
Mukaddima. What does that mean? So what does Mukaddima mean, ladies and gentlemen? Mukaddima by Ibn Khaldun, Arabic, is a prolegomena. I don't know how to say that word. It is famous introduction in the Qata el-Ibar, a general history of the world, written about 1377. The introduction was elaborated in a striking modern treatise on history, society, and science that foreshadowed Western works and concepts of the 19th and 20th centuries, including the invention of discipline of sociology and attempt to find lawfulness in history. Okay, so is there any other Mukaddima? Let's see. Definitely, what's the definition? Let's get a better definition. We got to pronounce it Mukaddima. All right, so now what's the definition? Yes, prologue or the introduction to introduce a larger work. All right, that's cool. Okay, that was cute. The Mukaddima. All right. Your boy still ain't pull up?
Nah, pull it up.
What was he? Hold on, give me all his arguments. Let's break down his arguments. Do you got the post? You got the post?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. Let me go back.
Yeah, we don't want to misquote him.
Shit.
What's he talking about buying 264? Y'all just giving Biden extra stuff, man. They can't call Nevada or Arizona yet. They dang sure can't call Georgia, but he is threatening. And he almost back in Pennsylvania. They got 12% left on Pennsylvania, though. I don't know if that 12% gonna make up 184,000 votes.
Yeah, he ain't got enough about it yet.
Man, he finna get on up out of here, bro. He done pissed on John McCain, so John McCain stayed like, "Oh, you gonna talk about John McCain? We got you."
Oh, there you go.
Dude in here?
Nah.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Nah, he ain't gonna pull up, man, talking all that big boy shit.
Yeah, let's just run through his claims. If you got them, let's see what he say. I don't know if you can put it on the screen. Oh, you got it right here. Okay, hold on. Read them for the audience. I don't think they can see that they clear. What y'all talking about? Born Winners Group. The hell? His name Eric Brown?
Yep. He said Africans come from Africa. That's fact. All part. Dumb statement. And my statement was.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning, bro.
Yeah, some of y'all African Americans legit think y'all from Egypt. That was my point. Everybody else ain't doing anything. Nobody talking about shit.
All right, so you said you African Americans think y'all from Egypt, and then his response was Africans come from Africa. That's facts. All parts. Dumb statement. So no. Go back to what you said exactly. What was the reason he would comment?
I said some of y'all African Americans legit think y'all are from Egypt.
All right, so let's go down back to his comment again, and I just want to give people context, specifically speaking. Hold up, go back up real quick. I think I see one of them fake Egyptians. Go back up. Go back up. Slow down. Oh no, that said Lakeith. All right, okay, scroll back. Go on back to his comment. All right, so he says Africans come from Africa. That's facts, but you didn't say Africans did not come from Africa, so that dismisses that statement. And then it says all parts. Dumb statement. Okay, you didn't say Africans don't come from Africa or all parts of Africa. So his comment is actually a dumb statement because you specified you African Americans think y'all come from Egypt. So
Right.
immediately his comment is pseudo. Well, not pseudo, but his comment is out of ignorance because he didn't comprehend what you said. So let's see what he said in the next one. He said, "No, that's a dumb statement." You said, "No, that's a dumb statement. We ain't come from no damn all parts. So what's up?" And then he said, "Sutek, you stupid. You believe in Jesus, don't you?" I don't even. Okay, so now he moved the goalposts. And then you said, and Asians don't come from Asia, Mexicans don't come from Mexico, Italians don't come from Italy. So dumbass, where do Africans come from since your dumbass don't believe they come from Africa? Stop. Once again, he makes another claim that you did not make. You specifically said that you said you were specific. You said you African Americans think y'all come from Egypt. Think all y'all come from Egypt. That's what you said.
Right.
All right, now then you hit him with you want to go live and blah 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 blah. All right, is that the last comment on this thread? Okay, all right, there we go. So African Americans rise up, dumbass. What race was created in America? Okay, now he's talking about race. Do you believe in Jesus? He went back to that. I never said we were from Egypt, bitch. We're from America. Damn, he called you bitch. And then he said, now please claim Jesus. Boy, you don't know who you talking to, because I will make you look a pretty mess on your dress. Okay, he's slick talking. African Americans have a history from all parts of Africa. That's why they're called African American, not African American, excluding Egypt, dumbass. Egypt is in Africa. All right, let's go live. I'll clown you. Okay, so he wanted to go live. So hold up. He says here African Americans have a history from all parts of Africa. That's why they are called African American. That's not why they call African American. So while he's trying to belittle you, he actually made a dumbass comment. Now he says not African Americans excluding Egypt, dumbass. Egypt is in Africa. You never made that claim either. You specifically stated that you said y'all African Americans think y'all come from Egypt. All right, so now he asked you to go live, and then he didn't say nothing. Scroll down. Just some new comments.
No,
yeah, all right, so he's right, and I'm no damn African American.
Yeah, you come back down here.
Do you know what a Moor means? Okay, there we go. This dumbass African. You asked me to go live. Let's go. Ass. LOL. Hold on. Let me set it up. Let's go. It was 15 minutes ago. Scroll. All right, so you threw the Zoom in there 12 minutes ago. I sent your punk ass a friend request too. So he requested you. All right, where you at?
I intercepting dude request. Look how he talking, man.
Yeah, scroll down. You sent the link again. And then you said I'm waiting 7 minutes ago. Tag him. Comment right now. Tag him now. Fuck you talking about? With his threatening comments over there. He called you all kind of name. Call you what I don't like is he called you a bitch.
Yeah, I don't like none of that shit. But you know how they be. You be tough over the internet.
It be emotional. That was emotional. That was an emotional response right there. I ain't feeling that. How can you act that way when all you did was say you African Americans, you know what I mean? Think you come from Egypt. Think all y'all come from Egypt. What's wrong with that? And then he commented and say we all come from Africa. You didn't make that claim. You didn't say none of the stuff that he said. So I'm trying to figure out who dumb here. Man, where my bookmark at? I need new bookmarkers.
All that shit.
See, this be the problem with most people is that this is why I get frustrated with people, man. Personally, man, is because like you ain't trying to belittle people or make them seem like they dumb and all of that, or that they don't study or read or anything like that. Because you don't really know these people. We don't know these people like that. So we don't know what they reading, if they read anything at all. But we could tell if they're reading something based on how they respond to what we say. And the first thing dude should have did was think about what you said when you said y'all African Americans think y'all come from Egypt.
Right.
So what was you really saying when you said that? You know what I'm saying? You didn't say nothing was wrong with studying Kemet. You didn't say none of that. So I'm trying to figure out where he had the audacity to just come out and even try to comment. Like what you said, was it wrong?
Nope. Unless he can show, unless he can prove different. That's why I gave him the link. He ain't pulling up though. Where you at? Drop your addy. Where your address? Pull up. You talking that big boy shit.
Most people do. Mika like it. She like it when it get messy like this. That's what she in the chat for. Her messy in there. Look, yesterday she was talking about she going to sleep the same time last night. Now she up in here. She wide awoke now.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't going to sleep now.
She wanted to see some smoke.
Look at look, laughing, look. Told you. She like messy. She messy, man. That's why she thought she had an ace in her hole. She tried to be slick, you know what I mean? Behind the scenes, she thought she tried to be slick. Thought she had an ace in her hole.
That's entertainment.
Yeah, you play that ace if you want to, you're gonna get this big joker on your forehead.
Yeah, man, he ain't pulling no way yet.
Yeah, look, she laughing. So let's deal with what you said. All right, so I hate this. I kind of don't like this. I don't like this because really, you know, all you're gonna get is one person arguing opinion and another one arguing from ignorance. I mean, you're gonna get people arguing from ignorance, and he's gonna be using his opinion. So what can we learn here? Did you limit? Nah, you ain't limit nothing. You said you African Americans. Yep. So what African Americans can he show come from Egypt?
I don't know. Shit, I want to see that too.
So he got some genetic. He got the genetic. You know, he got the DNA. He gonna show us these people, or is he gonna show? Or is he gonna go on? Dang, that mug.
He'll go to shit. He'll go to
nah, I know what he gonna do, bro. I know what he gonna do. You wanna know what he gonna do?
What?
He gonna go on. He gonna go on. What's the little DNA? The little DNA. 23andMe.
Yeah.
He gonna pull up. He gonna pull up. Yeah. He gonna say, yeah, Ramesses. That's what he gonna say. That's what he gonna say, bro. He gonna pull the Ramesses out. Yep.
I don't even be knowing what he looking at.
Nah, yeah, I don't think he understand what they actually saying when they try to link that like that.
Let me accept his friend request. See if he show up then.
Yeah, man, he might be inboxing you, bro, trying to get you to send him the link another way.
Let's see.
Oh, pseudo. Is she still on the chat talking, bro? I ain't listening. I don't pay no attention. What you talking about? Bring it. Man, that's all you want to do is argue. I ain't never met somebody want to argue with a dude all the time. She be intentionally want to argue with a dude. I need sticky notes. So what I'm about to do to this book, I'm gonna have to sticky note the heck out of this book. I don't even want to use my little highlight thing. Plus, I don't write in the book, so I ain't gonna mark my book up. I know one day how you pronounce this again?
Macadema.
Yeah, Macadema. That mug might be worth some money. Yep. I'm about to mark this book up though, bro. I ain't gonna lie. With sticky notes. I gotta lay that argument out. See, I love it. Look, I love it when the book start off like this. The servant of God who needs the mercy of God, who is so rich in his kindness. Raham B. Muhammad B. Khaldun El Hadrami. God give him success, says. Praise be God. He is powerful and mighty in his hand. He holds royal authority and kingship. His are the most beautiful names and attributes. His knowledge is such that nothing it revealed is secret, whispering or left unsaid. So romantic the way it speaks. Then it goes on and then it goes on to say this right here. Remain strange to him. His power is such that nothing in heaven or on earth is too much for him or escapes him. He created us from the earth as living, breathing creatures. He made us settle on its races and nations. From it, he gave us sustenance and provision. Our mother's wombs and then houses are abad. Substance and food kept us alive. Time wears us out. Our lives final tells the dates of which one we fixed for us. The book of destiny claimed us. But he lasts and endures. He is the living one who does not die. Praying and blessings upon our Lord and Master Muhammad, the Arab prophet, whom Torah and Gospel have mentioned and described, for whose birth the world that it is already in label before Sundays followed upon Saturdays in regular sequence, and before Saturday and Behemoth have become separate, to whose truthfulness Pagan and Spider bore witness. This how I end right here. Prayers and blessings also upon his family and the men around him who, by being his companions and followers, gained wide influence and fame, and who by supporting him found unity while their enemies were weakened through dispersion. Pray, O God, for him and them. For as long as Islam should continue to enjoy its luck, fortune, and frayed rope of unbelief shall remain cut. Manifold blessings upon them all. Boy, that's that romantic stuff, boy. That's that romantic stuff. It says, in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, pray, O God, for our master Muhammad, his family, and the men around him. Come on, man. That's romantic, boy. They talk so eloquently about Muhammad that it make you think Muhammad was actually somebody.
It's so romantic. It's romanticized.
Yeah, man. Exactly. That's what it is. The excellence of historiography, appreciation of the various approaches to history, a glimpse of different kinds of errors to which historians are liable, why these errors occur. That's the introduction. Boom, 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 boom. It's going down, boy. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's going down. Rahman Akfakbaran, Skalapadan, Ramadan. I'm about to learn all this. Look, it says book one. It says book one, Kitab al-Ibar, the nature of civilization, Bodun and settled life, the achievement of superiority, gainful occupation, ways of making a living, science, crafts, and all other things that affect civilization, the cause and reason thereof. Kitab al-Ibar. Yeah, man.
Start praying 5 times a day.
5 times a day to the east. I'm finna give me a little everything. Rahman, Salamanan, Lebanon, Vinaman one. Allah the merciful. Ramadan jihad on the Mika head. Yeah, it is a showboat of disrespect. But yeah. So back to what's going on, man. African American Egyptians.
African American Egyptians. I'm waiting on dude to show me.
Hey, hold on. Go back to that thread, man. Put it on the screen. Let's see what everybody else saying. Let's have some fun.
Hold on, let me see.
Dude ain't finna show up, bro. It's a wrap. You accepted his friend request.
And then and tagged him on my page.
He really ain't gonna show up.
Nah, he ain't gonna show up. Let me see.
He gonna say he was watching the election.
Alright,
Kecil Alman Ramadan one.
alright, here we go. Alright, so let's see. Somebody said maybe so.
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up. Before we get started, let me do this real quick. Let me know if you can hear this. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
What the fuck?
hold up.
صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله صلى الله صلى الله صلى الله عليه
Hold up.
وسلم رضي الله عنها رضي الله رضي الله رضي الله.
Yeah, you see that? You see that? Yeah, boy, I'm telling you, I'm getting serious with this. I might do a presentation and start the presentation off like that. Y'all gonna be like, what the hell?
Alhamdulillah.
I'm gonna give you the dua for Allah. Here you go right here. Hold up. The dua for Allah. See people, man, I saw wrong, man. They got dua in Allah in Islam, bro. They got thank you in Islam.
अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। इंशाल्लाह आज हम निअमतों पर शुक्र अदा करने के लिए दुआ सीखेंगे। अल्लाहुम्मा लकल हम्दु कुल्लु अल्लाहुम्मा लकल हम्दु कुल्लु व लकश शुक्रु कुल्लु ولك الشكر كله ولك الملك كله ولك الملك كله ولك الخلق كله ولك الخلق كله بيدك الخير.
I know when he finna say the kulu. Yep.
بيدك الخير كله.
Yeah. I can see the words.
وإليك يرجع
Kulu. He finna say it again.
الأمر كله.
Told you.
وإليك يرجع الأمر كله. أسألك من
Kulu.
الخير كله.
Oh, kulu.
أسألك من
Oh, okay, because it
الخير
didn't have the S in
كله.
it.
وأعوذ بك
When he got the S, he said the S
من
first.
الشر
Watch.
كله وأعوذ بك من الشر كله.
Told you.
ए अल्लाह, सब तारीफें तेरी ही हैं और सारा शुक्र भी तेरे लिए है और सब मुल्क तेरा है और तमाम मखलूक तेरी है। सब भलाई तेरे कब्जे में है और हर मामला आखिरकार तेरे ही सामने आता है। लिहाजा मैं हर भलाई तुझसे ही मांगता हूँ और हर शर से तेरी पनाह चाहता हूँ। इस वीडियो में इतने ही। अल्लाह हाफिज।
Y'all don't want this smoke, man. Y'all do not want that smoke, man. I will wreak havoc on you, son. I will wreak havoc on you. You do not want to play with me, man. Do not play with me.
Alhamdulillah.
Man, alhamdulillah, la, la. That mug was called du'as to Allah. It's what they called it, du'as to Allah. So it's
Rise up.
kind of like, it's like prayers. It's like prayers to Allah for like forgiveness or thankfulness, but they all start with du'a.
Shit, that's that connection.
Yeah, man. They trying to do that bullshit. That's some bullshit. Umekulu. I knew he was gonna say it though, cause when you look at the words, like when they get ready to say it, the way that I started picking it up on it real quick, like how I looking at Arabic writing, and every time he kept saying kulu, it's a long line that's drawn out with a little some little symbol in front of it. So every time he run it with a kulu, it's a little long line. Like, okay, he gonna stretch that bitch out every time. Kulu. That's what y'all should have been learning. Shoot. Right here, man. That's that real, man. You know what I'm saying? It's realer than a $5 bill. I mean, $6 bill. My bad, $6 bill. Allah is great. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Allahu Akbar. That's what he said. I bear witness that there is no deity but Allah. All right, I'm gonna stop. Dude said there is no deity but Allah. You see right then and there, y'all. I'm telling you, right then and there. Mika, he telling you that your Hebrew God don't exist. The only deity that exists is Allah. He said it. He said Allah Akbar. Allah is the greatest.
And they want the smoke.
That's what he just said. Allah Akbar. That means Allah is the greatest. And then he just sit here and said there's no other deity but Allah. So what happened to all the deities in Kemet? They just stayed away? They don't exist no more? The Hebrew God don't exist no more?
That's it.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Run your post, man. Let's have some fun with these folks, man.
All right, let me see.
What's the funniest comment on it? Somebody in North Carolina made this group. I ain't in this group. I'm glad I ain't in that junk.
Yeah, that's the Kevin Wesley dude.
Who was Kevin Wesley?
The ex-pastor.
I see you got some friends up in there. You got Queen Cheetah in that junk. You got Amadi in there, Josh in there. Boy, you got some friends in this pseudo group. Go ahead, go on, scroll on down. Let's get it. Dude right here, Darren, here you go. You cannot prove that to be untrue, though. That's simply an ignorant opinion of yours.
Right.
Y'all not from Egypt. This is sad. What's funny about that? It's actually facts. Okay, so that's why his second comment was stupid. And then Josh says, Suit Tech, but if you believe everything you've been taught, you should join the unlearn, relearn system, meaning educate yourself, whatever the hell that means. All right, come on.
Another form of do your research.
Yeah, well, that don't mean shit.
Oh, they gonna do it again.
Here you go. Who said we were from Egypt? We are from Africa. Egypt is in Africa. We come from all parts of Africa. So that's what made him say what he said earlier. But does he not know that this goes back to that notion of the argument that, will pretty much make people think that, when people say Africans, that we talking about all Africans, or are we talking about specific Africans? Because here in this instance, you were specific. You weren't talking about all Africans. You were talking about Egyptians. You're talking about the image. So you were specifically talking about the people from Northeast Africa. And he go talking about all of Africa. So he was already off. And then Josh said, just look at the likes. How many likes you had?
Let me see. 16.
16. Okay, all right. So
With another post. Okay, yeah, they want shit.
now go back to dude. Okay, yeah, no. Go back down right to the Josh. Josh up under you. Yeah, we got that. Okay, so just not dumb and a following. I learned a few years ago a lot of things that we have been taught is a lie, and it's up to each individual to find his or her real truth. No origin, definitely not a troll. All right, I don't want to see it. He ain't making no sense. All right, scroll on down. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, Josh Beck. I hope you realize Egypt is in Africa, but definitely not saying all blacks come from there. All right, come on. So now he having to change it hard. And then he says, if you read and understand the post, it means everything about this post, but I would have to guess you didn't understand it. Okay, yeah, all right.
They tell me I don't understand my own post.
Yeah. And what he said? Then he says, what did he say? Because you just said something. Question looking to answer who the blacks were in Egypt. Oh, see, there you go again. He think you trying to say something else. All right, scroll on. Let's go to Darren. Josh ain't talking about nothing. How many times have we been lied to about African heritage and history unless your DNA tests every single black person in America? We can never actually know which opinion isn't factual. Oh man, okay. Let's go to Vi Ursary. She says, thank you for saying it. They want to be Egyptian so badly because they hate the thought of being the descendants of slavery. Um, okay. I kind of almost want to rock with what she's saying. Not fully, but I kind of. And then Lakeith says, isn't Egypt and Africa? Duh. We're all from all over the continent, aren't we? Nah, bruh. Uh, hit the comments. Hit the view to 8. The 8. Yeah. Let's see what you doing on it. So where we from? Oh, he curious. He want to know where we from. He said, let's pull up the genetics 1 second. All right, Egypt is in Africa. Africa is the continent. Okay, so you went on and did that. Everybody ain't from here. All right, so you ain't gotta show me that. I already know that. What about the other 23% though? European and Native American admixed to slavery in Americas. Read the articles. We were the first people everywhere. Oh, he's a hyperdiffusionist. Okay, so he must be new. All right, so more than likely they were the first Egyptians migrated from West Africa, so they are part of us. Okay, so he's of the hyperdiffusionist effect too. All right, so scroll. Let's keep on. So you just found out. That's what Eric Brown said. You just found out. Okay, keep scrolling. What Rick Bell say? No, they don't. They just grab on to one of the most well-known countries in Africa. This is all America world. Tell them. Okay. All right. Africans. Okay, we already read him. Dude said real talk. I don't think most people think about that. They must pay homage to the greatest of Kemet. It was the epicenter of civilization in that day. He's right, and I'm no damn. Okay, so what she thinks she is, a Abo?
Oh, that's the Moor right there.
The sister is?
Yep.
Ah, this is disheartening. Baha, what are you? Moor, not black. Smack her. All right, come on. I don't even, man. You can hear more. You can hear view more, but I already know this is gonna be silly. It's gonna be a whole nother sad case of misinformed women. So says the individual who has never had dealing with me. Okay, I don't think nobody want to deal with you. She's probably single. Please enlighten me since you know what it is. Scroll. All right, so you enlightened her. Then she says, I see you graded red herring. Oh man, here we go. Shawnee know how to use it. Utilizing partial straw man. How you use a part? What is a partial straw man fallacy? So I'm not going to give you the pleasure of either. Well, instead, she didn't even want to deal with the post. She just said she agreed. Then she turned around and said she a Moor. What the hell is a Moor? A Moor when? When was she a Moor? Was she a Moor in the damn? Which century was she a Moor?
Shit, I don't know.
She from Philadelphia? Oh man, see, this is amazing. Keep scrolling. She's entertaining. Oh, and 100 amazing facts about the Negro by J.A. Rogers. Misinformed. Listen, J.A. Rogers got J.A. Rod that book right there. Throw that. I ain't gonna say throw it in the trash, but I mean, it's some misinformation in that book, and Moors tend to always want to use that book to try to say something.
Man, throw that shit. That's it.
I'm sourced up, sir. And it's not Google or Wikipedia. I gave you some suggested resources to have many more. J. Rogers is not a primary. You can't use J. Rogers. Wrong. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. Yeah. J. Rogers proved that we are more. Now go back up. Go back up. What'd you say? Yeah. Go. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead. She didn't read that book. Look,
Nah,
she got somebody. She got a picture from somebody. Buy the book or download it. And I stated the subject. All right, okay, keep going. She don't know nothing. See?
with the black shit. Like, nah, man. We ain't
Yeah, she finna do it again. I already know. So here's another one. So whose picture is that? Where's the prime? Okay, keep going. Nah, I don't even. Nah, you ain't gotta do it, bro. We already know what it's gonna say. God damn it, he done did it anyway. The most ancient name. Yeah. You already know it. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you using European terms right now as you type? Oh man, come on, wrong. Why are they trying? Oh, y'all having a nice little back and forth. And we continue to be okay. Keep on going. She probably ain't got no driver license. Dred Scott. What does Dred Scott got to do with this? Boy, man, y'all done went all the way around the world. I am over the world. I have to in order for you to understand the entire world, know who black people really are, but black people. Do you want to go live and speak your piece or not? I'd rather go live with my teachers. Oh, that says it all right there. That's the end of that discussion. Soon she says Sabir, he the most pseudo person in the world. And he ain't never just sent you a friend request so you can give him your best shot. Good luck. Who are you talking to?
Yeah, because I had a bunch of comments. She looked like she was talking to herself. Like,
she is talking to herself. She tags Sabir too, goes live every day. He's pseudo every day. Who is liking her comments? Denise Howard. Oh man. Keep on. All right. How long you talk to this chick?
Shit, that's about it. Yeah, okay. That's it.
Yeah, that gave me a headache. As soon as she says Sabir, I get a headache. Do you know what more means? Some more bullshit.
Let's see.
He asking her, do she know what more means? She answers. Watch, they finna argue with each other. They probably agree. Oh, he said, I don't think you do. You said more, not black. More means black. Nah, I don't think they know what more means. See? They ain't got no historical sense of the word more. Keep scrolling, cause dude, he's shucking. He pump faked all the way. He even called you a punk. Told you, come on.
I know, right? And then I didn't show up.
Yeah. He wanted to be your friend, though.
Yeah, see, he wanted to learn something.
The sister did too. Yep, the sister did too. She wanted to know what's up.
She 3 minutes ago. Everything originated in Africa. Y'all really need to get y'all head out of y'all asses.
Who think everything originated in Africa in the chat? Whoever watching in the chat, show up.
Hold on, let me see. You could think everything originated in Africa. I already know. She a hyper diffusionist.
Unc says you're wrong, bro. You already said not in Fulton County, no Republicans. I'm crazy.
Oh, you know, okay. Zay said he thought that when he was in the 11th grade. Yeah, man, dude. Talking all that big boy shit. Disrespecting me, calling me out my name. Motherfucker won't even show up. I'm not going live no more. What you talking about? You supposed to go live today? I ain't know nothing about this. Hold on, let me see. Real black atheist. On fire. Nah, he wasn't supposed to go live today. What's the other one? Pseudo killers.
We trying to pull Unc up? Yeah, bro. Dude that made you go live for no reason though.
I know, man. I'm about to get on up out here and grab something to eat, man. Dude, I ain't talking about shit. Delete this
Yeah.
motherfucker. Man, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, go on, delete. Don't even keep this. Before you delete this, though, let me do this right here. Let me do this right here. Let me get it cracking one more time before we go. We're gonna leave on a good note, y'all. I'm gonna find that. Hold up. I'm gonna get y'all something good right here.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Alright, hold on.
When school is
One more. That was in West Africa. They do it different. Allahu Akbar. Alright. Allahu Akbar. Two-check. You gonna end the show? Allahu Akbar. I ain't diving into no look. Now he want me to delete the show and all that. I'm not getting into that language. I don't care nothing about that language, man. For real, straight up. I like history. I'm a history buff. I ain't trying to get into all that. I know what I'm researching. My research gonna guide me where I need to go. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's where I'm at with it. Dude and got off the stream, man, and told me to shut this bitch down, man. All right, okay. I'm gonna shut it down, all right.
Man, before I let y'all go, man, give me a second, man. Give me a second. Looking for a source. Nah, I don't want to use it. Nah, you know, I'm going to skip all that. Speak on rare fact about Tennessee. I don't know no rare facts about Tennessee, man. Everything about Tennessee is known to the world, man. Ain't no rare fact. Tennessee, rare. Nah, I can give you a rare fact. I give you a rare fact. A rare fact, Tennessee is Tennessee was never a state Tennessee was once North Carolina, a part of North Carolina. When Tennessee broke away from North Carolina to actually form his own state, or become another state. People travel from North Carolina, the edge of North Carolina, into Tennessee, what would later become Tennessee. And some of the first people that actually are the forefathers of Tennessee, last name was Phillips. So I'm gonna run it down to you again, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna kick it like that. So Tennessee was attached to North Carolina originally. Some settlers would move from North Carolina into what would later become Tennessee. When Tennessee would be formed, Tennessee became what it was, and some of the first people in Tennessee, last name was Phillips. John Phillips brought with him about, let's just say he brought about 21, I think it was like 21 slaves. If you know anything about North Carolina is where the poor slave masters was, or so to say, people who couldn't afford to have like hundreds of slaves. It wasn't like South Carolina. South Carolina, the people, they were more wealthy in South Carolina. So North Carolinians would purchase slaves through South Carolina. And a lot of the slaves that actually entered into North Carolina came by the way of the Caribbeans. So you had a lot of like Jamaicans Africans that were in Jamaica at the time, growing, tobacco or sugar, corn, whatever the product was, they would be sold. They would come through the trade. However, the Phillips dude brought with him 21 people. Out of them 21 people, he was settling what they would later call Hickman County. Hickman County is about like 30, not even 30 minutes outside Nashville, but it's a few miles outside of Nashville. They were settled in North Carolina, and the dude would actually set up shop right there. Then later on, the Phillips would move to the north side of Nashville, where you would see the Phillips plantation. Yeah, hold up. Let me put it on the screen for y'all real quick. Let's see if I can pull it up. Then I'll put it on the screen. Boom. Give me a second. What I'm saying can be verified. See, my last name, Phillips. Yeah. I don't know what y'all know about that, but just hold on real quick. I'm almost where I need to be. I'll listen to my family chat. Now I had to go grab it, but I can't let y'all see it because y'all knows it. Well, come on, I can't. Oh, where my phone at? Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna make this quick. Quicker than what I just did. Groups. Phillips. Let me put my name in here. Bring up all my posts. Nunley. Okay, my comments. John D. Phillips. Sylvan Hall. I'm gonna put it on the screen for y'all in just a second. I'm gonna show y'all how they get down. Copy. All right, Vasa, since he like to be nosy. Then after this, I'm dipping on y'all. Man, them fat. Yup. Fat head. Alright, finna share my screen. Alright, y'all should be able to see my screen. Hold up, it still say sending. Trying to transfer some information. Soon as it update, I'm gonna pull it up back up on the screen. Sylvan Hall, the home of the Phillips. Man, this is crazy, man. It's funny how you learn if you start researching your history. It's so much that you learn about yourself. I even got the slave names, the people, not all the names, but some of the names of the people that were slaves. And what's funny is that they don't have their last name. They just got their first name, like Eliza or some biblical name. More crazy. Why my thing ain't saying yet? Crazy people. I done looked up, try to find where these people buried at and all that. So my initiative was to find these people because I need to approach them about trying to find some answers to some questions that I had regarding my just my ancestors. And that's how I found out that the Phillips last name was the first last name in Tennessee. They consider them people to be the first, like the forefathers of Tennessee. Yep. And I find that quite interesting. My phone. I'm still saying that. They hating, y'all. The home of the Phillips family. And look, peep game, it was spelled with one L, and then over history and time, they ended up changing it to two L's. 1790. And they still got it at 253 too. Mika's still on here lying, talking about 260 something. I don't know where she get that from. All right, let me just do it like this. She gonna delete this real quick. That's what I call my dad. What? I don't care if you know my last name. That don't mean nothing to me. Ain't nothing you can do with my last name. Y'all should be able to see my screen. So this Nashville, that's where the place was located. But they came from down near this area right here. Right here. See that? They come from down by this area right in here. And then came on back up the way right here. So they had a house right here. And here you go right here. In the year 1790, Joseph Phillips II purchased his first tract of land from North Carolina. See, y'all thought I was playing. Early the following year, he and his wife, Milbury, with their slaves, immigrated to Barrow, which is Edgecombe County, North Carolina, settling on the Dickinson Pike 6 miles north of what had so recently become Nashville. So, run it back to y'all. Let me get to it like this. This Dickinson Road, pretty much. See? This Dickinson Road. This road right here. See? It's Dickinson Road with Dickinson Pike. This right here is Dickinson Pike. Right? That's Dickinson. But notice what they say right here. Let me go back to the photo. Notice what they say right here. They immigrated from Barrow, which was Edgecombe County, North Carolina, settling on Dickinson Pike 6 miles north of what had so recently become Nashville. They still thought it was North Carolina. Well, it was at the time until it became Tennessee. With the high hopes of a youthful pioneer, his home was started envisioning the life he had left to build toward a new civilization with the consciousness of obligation to his family and the families of his slaves. See that? How fine was his courage and his children and their children's children who have gone out of the paternal shelter, know with an ever increasing veneration and gratitude. See what I'm saying? So they was dealing with this dude like this. They had the residence right here. Yep. It's only on one side of my family. So these people could answer questions and this the name of the plantation right here, Sugar Tree Grove Plantation. So I would have relatives that would work this plantation in the 1790s, early 1800s. And if I go back before that, and you go look at Edgecombe County and you go look at the history of the Phillips, it'll take you back to like the 1600s. in the 1600s, like the late 1600s. You'll see them in North Carolina. You'll see the family in North Carolina will have like John the First and then his father and all of that. And you'll see them come up out of that county and migrate to another area where they want to start a whole new life. But the Phillips family is one of the earliest families in Nashville or in Tennessee, so to say. One of the founding families, these people. And I did this because what I was trying to do was hunt the names of the slaves they owned. And then I wanted to, and I just tell y'all what my mission was. My mission was to find a primary source for the slaves, the slave names. I wanted the source. I still want the source. But I want the slaves' names. And then I wanted to be able to go back to North Carolina and try to trace those slave names, trace those slaves all the way back to a slave ship. And I wanted to trace the slave ship that brought them slaves over here from, I'm saying slaves like that, like these people weren't something. But I want to do that. Like I did enough digging, but I haven't completed the mission. I went backwards. So I know I got to find the names. If I can find the names of them and where they were purchased from, hopefully I can find a bill of sale. If I find a bill of sale, I might be able to trace the bill of sale back to a slave ship. If I'm able to trace the bill of sales to a ship, then I can find out when they actually got off a boat, and I can find the name of the boat, and I can find the direct location of where they came from off the boat, i.e. if they came directly from what many are saying as far as genetically Nigeria or the Congo, or most of the people that, this is funny, but most of the people that were in Jamaica come from, like Senegambia, some part, either Senegambia or Senegal and the Gambia, Mali, a few from the Congo, and it was another place. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly. I got notes on all this stuff. And I usually do a good job with it. But I'm just showing y'all how I'm working backwards. I usually don't even try to work backwards like this. But I was trying to make a point to like kind of know a little bit more. But and I'm gonna give y'all some because I've been corresponding with. But anyway, so from basically Senegal, the Gambia rivers, Guinea-Bissau and Mali, and then Angola, the Congo, Dominican Republic, or Congo and the Gabon area. So those are my possible origins. So I'm gonna say it again: Senegal and Gambia, or Guinea-Bissau and Mali, or Angola or Gabon, somewhere around the Congo area. So I was trying to get the names of the people that they enslaved, who was enslaved and sold. Now here's my issue. I know North Carolina, they got slaves from Barbados, which came from West Africa directly, or the Caribbeans or Jamaica. There was a slave, there was a dude who brought slaves to that area too, slaveholder who brought, I forget his name, but he was kind of like a little famous dude. I just can't think of his name right now. And but anyway, John brought 25 slaves with him to Nashville pretty much. And that's where he developed the sugar tree plantation. And that's where my family pretty much sprout from. So they were enslaved in North Carolina. And we know the triangle trade was in effect. So the link is, the Caribbeans to North Carolina via that. Now, I was trying to confirm something, and I did confirm something, but I was just trying to build with Danny. And he, he kind of gave me a little extra little ump Excuse me, I'm yawning. And he was just basically telling me how certain people operated at a time, and the bulk of the Africans that were enslaved and sold pretty much came out of North Carolina. So he was throwing something at me on that end. But as far as how that all go, like I said, my search is for the names of the people, the 25 people that were enslaved and then purchased by John. Now, John, in his will, he left certain slaves to his children. Yep. And land and things of that nature. And he even left something for one of the slaves. He wanted to lead him some. I guess he was infatuated with that one, and that one may have been, like one of his children or something like that mixed. Belshire Estates. Oh man, this whole area right there kind of crazy now. They building brand new homes over there. But this is pretty cool. It's cool to get in these folk business because they business really my business. But y'all wanted to know something, so this primary is right here, Sugar Tree Plantation right here. The residence of my great-grandfather, Joseph Phillips, 6 miles from Nashville, which he settled and built in 1791. He and his wife traveled from Edgecombe County, North Carolina, the seat of their respective families, by wagon and located this spot, which is still owned by one of their granddaughters, Miss Margaret Pope. So I need to see her. And I'm gonna have to try to pull up on her and see if I can. She probably won't let me in that mug, but I need to try to see if I can get some answers and go back. I can trace their genealogy, but I see the names come up on the census and all that. My great granddaddy name came up on the census near where did they move to? His daddy had moved them to West Tennessee. West Tennessee, about 30 minutes from here west. But yeah, he came up on here. Yep. My great granddad was big on Africa, even though he was a Christian man and a preacher. He had established his own church and things of that nature, but he had a Nigerian friend that was here, that was going to school here and didn't have a place to stay. And he let the Nigerian live upstairs, upstairs of the church. And he had that specifically to himself. Nobody was up there but just him. And that's why he basically boarded. And it's pretty much how it go down. They ain't gonna show y'all. The early history of Middle Tennessee. Let me go back and see if I can give y'all a little something. So it's kind of I do this, man, because I really intrigued by it, but you got to get your feet on the ground and do a little bit more digging. Yep. Got to do a little bit more digging. Let me come up. But yeah, man, that's it. Oh, probably so. Yeah, but Zane, most black people, man, most black people, families are lazy when it comes to their family history and things of that nature. There's a reason for that. Like, like once great grandmama died, man, you really lose a lot. And when you lose like that, man, you have no way of recovering. So you really don't, I wasn't told a lot of this information. I just started digging on my own merit. I knew certain things because my uncle told me certain stuff. My grandmama told me certain stuff, but nobody really was answering all the questions if I wanted to ask. Like when you a kid, you really ain't worried about all that, man. You don't know none of that. But when you start getting older, it start become more serious to you. Yeah, one of my I think one of my relatives was a runaway. Yeah, I got I already showed y'all that in the chat. Boss is doing too much reaching. But I showed them in the back chat that one of my relatives was a runaway, and they had a newspaper clipping, of him running away. Yup. He ran away from the sugar tree plantation. What is she talking about, man? Ain't nobody answering none of her questions. That's all she got a question. I ain't talking to her. What you talking about, rest in peace, Cam? What happened? What happened, Zane? Key race alert. Key race alert, ladies and gentlemen. Biden has got into the lead a little more, yo. He was at 48%. Now it's 49.49. 0.6% difference with 95% of the vote in. Trump is ahead by 31,000 still. Well, it was more than that. Now it's 31,000. And when they update again, Biden could take the lead by morning time because they still got over like 200,000, maybe what was it, 100,000 votes remaining. And then in I don't know, they're 89% in Pennsylvania. I don't know if that 11% going to equate to 160,000 people. That would mean he would need to be in a real big city, still got votes left, but that's going to be close. That's going to be close. But Trump got 50% of the vote up there, so no matter if Biden get all of the other part, he ain't going to be at 50%. But it's crucial. It's crucial. That says a lot, though, because most of these states supposed to be red states. Anyway, mine's showing something different. Show us your update. No, I don't need to show you my update. You got CNN. That's why I don't watch MSNBC or Fox. I don't do none of that. I just, I try to go with the least biased news. I don't want no friends. I want, I like it straight down the middle. Yep. From Cocaine to Consciousness, man. Get that book, man. One night before bed. Get that book, man. As I learned, we all learn. Get that book, man. College Watch Trip to the Motherland. Get that book, man. Spears of the Maza Volume 1. Get that book. From Spears to Pen. Get that book. Spiritual Combat Volume 3 on the way. Get that book. Support us. I have a book that has those primary newspapers if you want it, Sean. Nah, I don't want no more books, bro. I just bought 10 books. I don't want no more books. I got 10 books to read. I just opened one. So now I'm going to have nine left to read. I'm about to open this book. I opened it up for a reason so I can go ahead and read chapter 1. But then I'm gonna have to note tag chapter 1 because I need to start setting up my argument. I need to write I need to write first. I need to write like 2 pages before I even start reading. No photos of the ads. Watch this. Runaway slave. Yeah, man. Runaway slave notices. No, I don't want them. Tipton, Tennessee. But yeah, man, pretty much, man. That's I just gave y'all some jewels right there on Tennessee on the real. Well, regarding my family anyway. I don't know about other people's stuff, but that's how it go. That's how it go. I ain't know Lil Wayne had a fiance. What y'all know about Kentucky Underground Railroad? See, my great grandmama on my grandmama side, the Phillip stuff on my granddaddy's side. My great grandmama from Lexington. Yep. What y'all know about that? He go with this Cimarron stuff.
In 1850, 1 in every 5 Kentuckians was held in bondage. Over 200,000 black men, women, and children were bought and sold like animals, their families torn apart. Shackles and whips enforced the master's rule, and brutal patrollers roamed the countryside. Still, thousands of slaves attempted to escape. Many made it across the Ohio River and beyond. Others were not so lucky. This is the story of some of those who ran and those who helped them on their way.
You had a very unusual kind of slavery here. Average size of slave holdings tended to be comparatively small, between 5 and 6 slaves per slave owner. You generally didn't have more than maybe a fourth to a third of the white population that owned slaves. And compared to the kind of large-scale slavery that you would see as the cotton states began to develop in later years. And yet slavery was just as much a part of the structure here as anywhere else. As the Cotton Kingdom, as they sometimes call it, developed in the Gulf states after 1800. States like Kentucky and Virginia and Maryland and so forth, where the climate did not allow for cotton cultivation, became major suppliers of slaves to the Deep South. And so part of the economics of slavery in Kentucky is what we call the domestic slave trade. This process of selling off slaves, in fairly significant numbers every year to the Deep South. This is what this concept of being sold down the river means. Down the river meant Mississippi and so forth, right? This is even in the state song. Think about My Old Kentucky Home. Who sings My Old Kentucky Home? This song was written after Uncle Tom's Cabin was published. The original title was Poor Old Uncle Tom, Good Night. And so the person who's singing this song is actually an old enslaved African American who's been sold away from his Kentucky home and is remembering it as an old man. And so people sing the state song without really having a sense of just what the meaning is.
Kentucky became known as a breeding state after the state passed a law forbidding the importation of slaves from other areas of the country into Kentucky. Then we see this massive breeding, production of slaves that could in fact be sold to ports southward.
The role of Kentucky in terms of the slave trade was as an originating point for slaves. It was the trade to the Deep South from almost the point at least as early as 1810, and that just grew and grew and grew. So by the 1840s, for example, in Louisville, you had the establishment of businesses that did nothing but buy and sell slaves. You had 2 very large businesses that started here in 1843. Matthew Garrison and Jordan and Tarleton Arterburn both started just about the same year, and they continued in business for 20 years. And that's all they did. That happened in Lexington much earlier with Lewis Robards and Talbot started their own businesses in slave trading earlier than happened in Louisville, just because Lexington, being in the middle of the Bluegrass area, which was one of the largest concentrations of slaves in the state, had a ready market for it.
On one hand, you've got the myth of the mildness of Kentucky slavery. And that's a myth that was really sort of self-serving for slave owners in Kentucky. And if you look at American history, every state had a myth like that. It didn't matter how horrendous slavery was in that particular state, but every state had its own myth about why slavery wasn't as bad there as it was someplace else, right? And of course, the truth of the matter is fairly simple. I mean, slavery was slavery. And the nature of the institution was such that, as Orlando Patterson says, once you became enslaved, you suffered a kind of social death.
Slaves built the houses, slaves did the cooking, slaves did the harvesting. It was the slaves that did the work. It was the slaves that built the state.
Steve. It was a human train. It was secretive. It was clandestine. It was, people lost their lives. The fact is, the Underground Railroad became very popular during the 1830s and 40s when the locomotive train system was established in this country. Even words that passengers, conductors, agents, stockholders were adopted to the Underground Railroad terms. But the Underground Railroad really started when our people first set foot on the soil, which is now known as the United States.
We're on the Ohio River on the Kentucky side. And if we can take ourselves back to the days of the Underground Railroad, this is the slave state, and right across is free state. And from the perspective of the slave looking across, many of them thought that all they had to do was to cross this river and they'd be free. Right here in this area, there were at least 6 crossing points that we know of. Probably many more with individuals taking skiffs across. The 3,500 slaves were right here in these 3 counties. Beyond them in the Bluegrass, there were 35,000 slaves. So there was a significant proportion of Black slave population here. And many of them were trying to reach freedom.
The Ohio River to Chile, Georgia, was the passageway to freedom, especially before the Fugitive Slave Law. And then, of course, after the 1850s, they had to get on into Canada. They had to get out of the United States to be free. But this river symbolized the first step to freedom. If only we can cross the Chile, Georgia, the Mason-Dixon line to freedom.
So just the decision to flee was a very courageous decision, because you're doing so in many cases without knowledge of what is out there. You know there's wild animals, you know there's danger from slave catchers, people are going to be after you, and if you fail, it's going to be a very costly failure. And I think the thing about those who did leave is that freedom was worth even that risk to them. And everybody who left, I think, in a sense, was a member of an Underground Railroad in Kentucky.
And it's hard to really define as to what it is. Was it well organized on a national basis? I don't think so. Were there people who helped individuals escape? Of course there were. But I do think that the fugitives themselves deserve a lot of credit for making the break and getting out of it. Was a nonviolent approach to resistance. They resisted slavery with their feet. And they are to be, in my opinion, much admired for that and remembered.
The threat of and the reality of family separations might well have served as
the important figures. The stripes on his back with the
Webster was convicted with
to that point, and certainly in Kentucky. He was approached by 2 white people. The woman was Delia Webster. Webster was a Vermont school teacher who come to Lexington and had opened a female academy. Webster brought with her.
Surrounded the cabin sometime in the early morning. Robert fought, according to the newspaper.
Garner started in 1994 when I was actually researching something else and came across it just as a sentence. A slave mother who chose to slit her daughter's throat to prevent her from being recaptured. And I compelled just as a mother, wondering how she could kill her own child.
We will never know finally why she decided to leave here. I speculate that she was probably the sexual victim, the longtime sexual victim of her master, Archibald Gaines, primarily because of genealogical evidence. Margaret's last two children, Mary, who died, and Scylla, who was 9 months old when Margaret Garner escaped, were described in accounts as being almost white. Archibald Gaines was the only adult white male on the plantation.
I believe that something happened to trigger a panic that made them realize that they needed to take advantage of the river freezing.
They're surrounded in a small cabin near Mill Creek in Cincinnati. Federal marshals, in addition to Gaines, surrounded the cabin sometime in the early morning. Robert fought, according to the newspapers, with, quote, the ferocity of a tiger before he gave up. Finally, when they subdued Robert, they looked about in the cabin and found that Margaret had taken the life of Mary Garner. Her body was lying on the floor, and Margaret was, at that moment, trying to get to the other children. After the trial, the Garners were sold to a plantation owner in Mississippi, and it was there that she died.
Beloved takes place, 18, 20 years later, in that they're in Cincinnati or in Ohio and so forth. And Margaret Garner was dead by the age of 25. 2 years after her trial, she was dead.
I call this a family story of slavery and child murder because I want to put the focus on two things. First of all, the importance of family to them, and then secondly, also the devastation that slavery wreaked in African American families.
At the height of slavery in Kentucky, you have 23% of Kentuckians are black, and most of those are in slavery. The centers of slavery were around Lexington. So this was the largest center. When you get to like 1850, 1860, you do have a few counties that actually have 50% black population. Woodford, Fayette. If you look at the Ohio River, which is about 700 miles long, if you could make it to the river, it's around, 75 miles to Maysville, slightly less than that to Louisville. Cincinnati's right at 80 miles, something like this. The opportunities for Kentuckians to run away was great, much greater than, say, for somebody who lived in the heart of Alabama.
Lewis Hayden's escape from slavery was one of the most notorious, widely publicized escapes in really in the United States to that point, and certainly in Kentucky. He was approached by two white people. The woman was Delia Webster. Webster was a Vermont school teacher who had come to Lexington and had opened a female academy. Webster brought with her a man named Calvin Fairbank. Fairbank was a minister from Ohio. He had attended Oberlin College from Ohio. He was in Lexington for the sole purpose of helping slaves escape. So Fairbank and Webster asked Hayden, "Do you want to be free?" And he said, "Not without my wife and my son." And Lewis, Harriet, and Joseph Hayden got into the carriage with Fairbank and Webster, and they left, heading north.
In the wee hours of the morning on September 29th, they were seen coming through this town of Washington, Kentucky on this road at a high rate of speed with all the blinds down on the carriage. No one could see inside, of course. They were on their way to Maysville, where they would cross on a ferry to freedom.
Webster and Fairbank weren't quite so lucky. The slave owners of Lexington had figured out exactly what had happened, and they were waiting. They pulled Webster and Fairbank out of the carriage, dragged them off. Fairbank was almost lynched. Then Fairbank and Webster were both put in slave jails.
Webster was convicted, went to prison, where women were not sent to prison very often at that time, would be later pardoned. Fairbanks was convicted as well, went to prison and served about 4 years. He came out of prison and decided that the evil of slavery was so much that he couldn't stop fighting against it, and goes back and becomes involved in the anti-slavery movement and taking slaves across into free territory once more, and is captured once again.
He served 12 years on his second stint, from 1852 till 1864, having served 4 before. He counted the number of lashes he received, somewhat over 40,000. He was absolutely a martyr for the cause. He paid for it with the stripes on his back, with the 16 some odd years of difficult incarceration, and with being basically a broken man when it was over. Yet he had been a hero for the cause, and it wasn't just Lewis Hayden that he had freed. He had freed some 43 slaves before the Haydens. Lewis Hayden, the slave he and Delia had helped set free, raised $650 in Boston so that Calvin.
All right, enough of that. But y'all get the gist. That's, 2 people who ran the Underground Railroad in Kentucky. The history lesson. What's she talking about? Be nice to. Man, y'all just going in about something in the chat. Yeah. But I already know, you know what I mean? I knew Zane was up on the Beloved. It's a good story. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I know my great grandmama grew up in most of that. Not really all in that area, but her mom and daddy. My daddy was slave owner. Well, something like that. Lyrics to Still Away, Still Away, Still Away, Still Away to Jesus. Why we always messing with music though? What y'all know about fugitives from injustice, freedom, seeking slaves in Arkansas from the 1800s to 1860s? What y'all know about that? Who wants some smoke, man? You know what I mean? What y'all know about that? Where the elbows at? I got some elbow smoke. Where the elbows at? I can kill them right here. I got something right here that'll kill the elbow. I'm gonna do it just like this here. Elbow smoke. Let's just read this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this right here. Rock with me. A second study of great value in understanding freedom-seeking slaves in Arkansas was Thomas C. Buchanan's Black Life of the Mississippi River, which makes a convincing case for the importance of the river to both slaves and free blacks. Basing his estimate on an actual count of 93 steamboat crews that stopped in St. Louis in 1850 and extrapolating to the 7 to 1,000 crews he thinks were on the river at the time, Buchanan estimates that there were between 2,000 and 3,000 slaves working on the boats that year and between 1,000 to 1,500 free blacks. He thinks that may have been 20,000 African Americans who gained riverboat experience in the 10 years before the Civil War. Running back. Given that average of the workers was 26 years, indicating a relatively large turnover, he thinks there may have been 20,000 African Americans who gained riverboat experience in the 10 years before the Civil War. Most of the slaves on the river were hired by the owners, and the same situation of relative freedom that existed on a small scale in rural areas and to much greater extent in the cities of the South. In addition, of course, the steamboat workers who traveled from place to place greatly expanded their opportunities in a number of ways, but particularly the respect to freedom seeking. At the time, the large number of black people aboard meant that slaves who labored on the land but attempted to escape on the steamboat had a better chance of avoiding being found out. As we shall see, the steamboat loomed large in the history of freedom seeking and Underground Railroad in Arkansas. That's how they got away in Arkansas, the steamboat. I didn't know that. Oh, y'all didn't know they had oral histories? Taken from Arkansas slaves by the WPA provided rich anecdotal information about the freedom-seeking experience and its profound impact on the memory of those who were a part of it? Huh? I bet you they say they weren't no Native Americans. They weren't no Abos. The Underground Railroad and Runaway Slaves, Chapter 1. I would give y'all this work, but Mika in the chat. And I ain't giving no source with her in it. Now I she in there. The Underground Railroad. How many Indians had an Underground Railroad? Remember, the Abos was supposed to be, Native Americans and all that old crap. So why were they people, in a part of the Underground Railroad if they were indigenous and free? What they running from? Why was they enslaved? There's 8 people watching. The views going up. Let me slide down a little bit more. Cause see, they didn't call themselves that. They specifically said this 1800 to 1860 that these was African Americans is what they said. Look, when they wanted to refer to white people, they said Anglo-American style. Look what it says. Sieber said little about the role of slaves in freeing themselves and the contributions made by free blacks in the success of the Underground Railroad. Instead, he focuses on the white operators of the Underground Railroad, who were mostly of Anglo-American stock. Yeah. In attention to the contributions of African Americans, of course, was characteristic of white Americans. Historians included in Sieber's time and for many years. Yep. Look at that. Good name. They weren't Abos freeing themselves and working the Underground Railroad. These was African. Even the free blacks. They was African. Yep. See, even though y'all might see MBK running around New York, popping off that big boy information regarding, New York and all that stuff that was transpiring. But down south, there was a whole nother movement that was transpiring along those times too. Seldom talked about because racism was so rampant around here and it was just so common. But runaways had to run somewhere in order to get away. Yep, look at that. Quakers. Let's get to some meat and potatoes. Here we go. The Underground Railroad and Runaway Slaves. Comparison of select variables. Runaway slave database. The period, 1790 to 1860, the mean age was 25. You had percent that was between 1 and 12 was 5, 40 and older 5, female 19%, mulatto 33%, individual escape 60. In Kentucky, the slave database pre-1850, 25% age range. No data on 1 to 12s, none over 40. 20% female, 54% mulattoes. A lot of mulattoes running away now. Huh? Hold up now. Let me make this clear. You see it say mulatto, that means they were mixed. Why would mixed people who were supposed to be more favorable than the blacker, the blacker African Americans or Africans or blacks, however you want to word it, why are they running away at dang near half a clip? 54%. Dipset. In Arkansas, the runaway mean age was, man, listen, it seemed like when you got to the age of 25, you was dipping. 8% of 1 to 12, 9% over 40, 18% female. Females was getting up out of there. They weren't playing. They was tired of that shit. 49% individual escapes. Wow, that's a lot. 70 in Kentucky, 78% individual escapes. So they weren't asking if you want to run with me. They were getting away. Listen, bro, I'm out of here. You going or you staying? Cause I'm about to get. Are you gonna stay? Psh, I'm out. Yep. That's why you do your dirt by your lonely. You feel me? You don't get caught. This is why you do research, man. You got to read all of this, man. Hold on, man. I'm tripping. There you go right there, y'all. Y'all can look it up for yourselves. Download the PDF. Let me get it to you. Is she going to work? I don't see no comments. All right, I'm going to give it to y'all because I don't see no comments. Yeah. Go on here. Oh, no, it's in the chat. This fool said Wakanda voted for, man, that's what I'm saying, man. I be wanting to kick people out. We don't vote for nobody in Wakanda. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Just trying to give y'all some little slick little information right here to kind of help y'all. This Voss's favorite word right here. With the aid of a Creole French barber and New England teacher, Fairbank worked out a plan for which Menace was made up in the correct hair, mustache, and beard, and a further whitening of the already light skin in order to look like Mr. Young. They took a black dude and made him look like Mr. Young to pass. Look at this conclusion. Slavery in Arkansas was much like that in the southern states east of the Mississippi River, and in the plantation counties of the Delta and southern border, it was similar to the cotton belt of the deep south. Resistance through escape and flight was also similar. Although Arkansas runaways displayed the same characteristics as those who came to the state from elsewhere, they were attracted to Indian territory as a place of relative freedom, and many of them seemed undaunted by the long distance travel involved in returning to former homes in the southeast or stretching out to the north, few by steamboat. Their owners often believed that their escapes were assisted by unscrupulous white men, thieves, or occasional friends of the fugitives, and at least some of the time, they were probably right in both cases. You see what I mean by how they distinguish themselves? The blacks, the free blacks, they knew who they were. Whether you call them Negroes, they knew who they was. They were escaping toward Indian territory. So it's a clear distinction between who's Indian and who ain't Indian right there. Joe Biden closing in on Pennsylvania. They playing with this little digital board too much, man, trying to say, how can Trump win the election? Look, people already know, everybody already know that it's just ugly right now. Them mail-in votes is killing Trump. But back to this lecture right here. I was trying to see if Sutek was gonna come back, but he ain't coming back. I'm about to dip on y'all, man. He gonna delete it anyway. I gave y'all the source, man. Grab that source in the chat, man. Save it. Grab the source in the chat. Save it. Cause when the stream stop, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna be there at access. Let me come on up out of here real quick. This is very interesting right here. Belle Meade is you know, pretty much a slave, you know, pretty much dealt with slaves. And up until even in the early 90s, Belle Meade had black people working as servants in the Belle Meade Country Club. My brother Dad worked for the Belle Meade Country Club. And you know, he met a dude who owns a chain of Waffle Houses. And you know, it was pretty racist. We kind of knew what it was, but they had old money. The Belle Meade Country Club are esteemed elites in Nashville, and they got their own little area right outside of Green Hills where they parlay among themselves, and you ain't welcome in their neighborhoods, period. They even got slave quarters over there, and I think they got a slave breeding pen over there as well. I know Andrew Jackson had one in Hermitage. When you go visit the Hermitage, they got that little, they don't tell you that's what it was a slave breeding pen in the back of the plantation. But 2 Hardin slaves ran away. Yeah, we need to get into Hardin, General Hardin. You know, they call Hardin Place is named after General Hardin, if you're familiar. It says, although the reality of the form of slavery was horrible, both in injustice and promoted the legacy of its left of black victims, there were significant variations in quality of treatment given slaves in the southern states in the antebellum period. The biological sketch of General William Giles Hardin in Professor W.W. Clayton's History, Davidson County, Tennessee, published in 1888, although not entirely accurate, correct, portrays Hardin as a kind master. Kind master, please. Certainly, a lot of the common slaves at Hardin's Belle Meade plantation in Davidson County was far more fortunate than average. But regardless of whether the relations between the Hardins and their slaves were extolled as a Magnus, well, I think they were trying to say whatever, criticized as paternalistic and self-serving, the fact remains that these relationships were relatively uncommon in the annuals of the Old South. The sketch of General Hardin included the following paragraph. He was opposed, as his father before him had been, to purchasing slaves. He was also opposed to trusting his slaves under the charge for an overseer. Consequently, he would never invest in a cotton or sugar plantation. He was in the course decline of what was regarded the more profitable method of working slave labor, but preferring what was regarded as more humane. Rather than mortify his Negroes and separate their families, being enlarged his plantation and kept them under his own supervision. During the Civil War, his slaves remained faithful to him, and a godly number of them remain with him at the present time. He cares for them in sickness and in health as formerly. They were contented, happy, set, well-fed, well-clothed, fat, slick, and merry. He took care of 'em. Master gonna feed us. He gonna clothe us. We ain't gotta run nowhere. Master don't whoop us. Master don't do nothing. Master just make us master. Make us serve master. Yeah, man. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Oh. Two histories, one fortune, Louisiana sugar planters, dead slaves, and the Anglo-Creole schisms. Oh, yeah, I'm going to drop this in the chat for y'all. Drop it in the chat. Make sure y'all get this here. Get this here. Keep it right there. Get that here. Keep it here. All right? Keep that. Keep it. Don't care nothing about no acknowledgements. See if we see anything interested in this 346 page book. Should be disappointed if we are not flooded again. The land houses and property. So the Creole and the Anglo-American populations, cultural characteristics of the Creole. Let's go to 53. I'm gonna get here and then I'm a dipset. Here we go, chapter 2. Creoles and Anglo-American sugar planters. Bossa, who the Creole? I'm stopping, man. I ain't about to do all this right here, man. I'm tired. All right, y'all. I'm finna get on up out of here, man. Look, get that link that I put in the chat. Save that link in the chat. Deal with that. Get the link in the chat, y'all. Let me know if y'all got that both sources. I was tired, boss. Been up since 6. Eyes are tired, boss. I don't cap no gown. What I'm talking about? Man, who ordered Kofi new book, man? Who ordered Kofi book? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. I tell her, fuck me where I've been. As long as you making them revenues. All right, real quick, I do want to know something, man. How many people believe that Joe Biden will be president number 46 tomorrow? Who believes that Joe Biden will be the confirmed president tomorrow? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that he'll be a president. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he'll be declared it on let me know. When do you think that this will be called? When will this race be called for Biden? Will it be tomorrow? Okay. So it's gonna happen tomorrow. Tomorrow they're gonna legitimize Biden. Did y'all vote for Biden? Put a 1 in the chat if you voted for Biden. Put a 2 in the chat if you voted for Trump. Put a 3 in the chat if you didn't vote. I think it's funny. To be real, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Mika, we knew you voted. So y'all think Biden gonna win tomorrow? They gonna make him the president tomorrow. So what Trump gonna do? He gonna be a lame duck president. He ain't gonna get shit done. I think the temperament of Joe Biden right now is what America needs. I hate to say it, but when you got a dude, when you had Trump, when you had a dude in office like that, it's kind of a problem for people trying to progress the world. I mean, try to move the world forward. You got a polarizing dude like that sit on Twitter and talk stuff. You know what I mean? Basically disrespect the heck out of you. So his ego kind of got in the way of everything too. He the first president we watched real time lose his own presidency. I want y'all to think about that. This dude is the first president that we, during our time, that we have sit here and watched him lose the presidency. And that lady they showing on CNN right there, she ain't moved up out that seat yet. She been counting every last one of them votes. And they finna run the votes up again. Bro, it's like 100,000 votes left in Fulton County and DeKalb County, Georgia. That ain't good. Cause if he win Georgia, he at 269. And he get Georgia, he gonna get Nevada or Arizona. He can lose one of them. He get Georgia, he can lose one of them. Protesters are gathering outside the Arizona election site. I don't know why. What they gonna do? They only got 11 electoral. He get Arizona as a rep. I ain't watching no rerun. I'm game. I'm watching the up-to-date news. I don't know what you talking about. I'm watching CNN. MSNBC love the fact that Biden is ahead of Trump by 3 points in Arizona, with 86% of the votes in. He gonna go up fast soon. But Georgia, man, dude had like a 600,000 vote lead, man, in some of these states. He get walked down by the mail-in vote. Oh, Joe been trying to be the president for 40 years, y'all. He didn't try to get on that panel before, then got kicked off for it. Then he became a vice president. Then he sat out. And now, old Joe finna be the pro. The POTUS. They said he went in Michigan. It's curtains. It's curtains. You get Georgia's curtains, I'm telling you. Kiss it goodbye. $5 million voters. They got 242,000 remaining votes. Golly, man. Georgia still got 240,000 votes remaining, and Biden only down 30,000 votes with 200 and that many votes in Georgia. It's a wrap. Go on get do that, man. Concede. Look, Trump, concede while you can, bro. Don't make them make you look any worse than you already made yourself look with Twitter. JJ Watt said he want to get out of Texas. He ain't interested in rebuilding. Look up the live poll results. She annoying, man. Don't you gotta work? I'm trying to tell you, these people are calling states too soon. It's just too close to call right now. You jumping the gun calling and stuff. Ain't nobody being wrong. It's just too close to call these states. That's why they ain't that's why they ain't doing nothing. It's Young Jizzle from the bottom of the map. A 50 round at the bottom of my strap. Hey. I do it for the rocks. Stop picking up for Trump. He do want to sue. I want to sue him too. Yeah, the suing word, that's just slander. You lost, bro. You lost. They still got 200,000 votes to count in Georgia, and he only up less than 30,000 votes now. Y'all gonna wake up in the morning and y'all ain't gonna know what the hell hit y'all. Hey. Let me see what I can find for myself. What's up though before I hang up on y'all? What y'all got? Everybody cool? We good? I can share a hotel. Cause I ain't got nothing else to talk to y'all about. I gave y'all the inside leg. Gave y'all some sources. Talked about the election. They're still saying 253. I don't know what she talking about. Yeah, it is. It's 1 o'clock your time. It's 12 mine, homie. And remember, time went back. So the sun be up in about 4 hours. So on that note, man, I'm gonna say Shimim Hotel, man. I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. Sutek gonna delete this anyway. Peace out.